There's a good reason why these days, whenever people find out that Activision is publishing a game, they sort of wait and see how they'll screw it up somehow. Remember how excited people were back when Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered was announced, only for Activision to retroactively add microtransactions to it, resell DLCs, and paywall the game behind the purchase of Infinite Warfare before selling it as a standalone months later? Yeah, that's just one of many examples of exciting releases that Activision, in their greed and utter apathy for integrity, fucked up and turned something potentially fantastic into something utterly abhorrent. We also found out during E3 2018 that From Software's next project, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, is also being published by Activision, and as great as that game looks, everyone's kind of holding their breath and wondering what's the catch. The hope is that there is none, but when Activision is involved, you never know now, do you? Another upcoming Activision-published title is a little remake you may know as Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Old-school gamers will recall this gem of a platformer franchise, particularly the original 3 games, so the prospect of a full remake a la Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is certainly an enticing one. While the jury's still out on the quality of Spyro's trifecta of remasters, there is one blemish that's keeping some people from pulling the trigger on purchasing it. The following information comes from Spyro's official website, which provides release details on the upcoming title. Browsing through it, something that caught people's attention was that if you scroll down towards the pre-order section, there's a bullet point that's left prospective buyers of the game's physical version displeased. It reads, quote, "Games 2 and 3 require download via internet." Furthermore, if you look at the game's box art, you can see that there is a little excerpt on the bottom that says, "Original 3 games remastered requires content download." What this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you buy the physical version of Spyro Reignited Trilogy, you will not get all 3 games inside the disc as you'd expect. Instead, only the first of the 3 games will be on the disc, while the other 2 games will have to be downloaded as if they were digital purchases, which essentially defeats the purpose of buying Spyro Reignited Trilogy's physical version. People buy physical copies because of certain benefits, like owning a game in a way that can be easily transported, being able to save hard drive space on their console, being able to hold a game in their hands as part of their collection, so on and so forth. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with digital purchases. Frankly, in this day and age, the number of digital purchases significantly outnumbers physical ones, and it has its benefits, but there is still a significant number of people who prefer physical, myself included, and there are tangible reasons that come with that. So for Activision to decide out of nowhere to release a physical version where 2/3 of it is a digital download rather than packing the entire trilogy on the disc, it is nonsensical. The physical option might as well not exist. They might as well just sell the game's box and disc as separate souvenirs. Now, that's not to say that any of this is the end of the world or the worst thing Activision has ever done. If the game turns out to be as good as people are hoping it to be, then I'm sure most will be able to get by, but at the same time, this all seems like an unnecessary inconvenience for those who like to stick to physical formats. I'm not sure what's so hard about including all 3 games inside the Blu-ray disc. It's surely not a technical limitation. There's surely enough space to cram the entire trilogy in there with space to spare. Hell, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, a game that's of similar nature to Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and which was also published by Activision, managed to fit all 3 games into one disc just fine. So the question becomes, what on earth could have prompted Activision to downgrade to this obnoxious new format where only 1/3 of a package comes in the disc while 2/3 of it is locked away digitally? It just doesn't make any sense, and Activision hasn't done much in the way of providing some kind of explanation either. As a matter of fact, when news outlets reached out to the publisher after word about this began to spread, Activision provided the kind of canned, boilerplate, useless response we have come to expect by now, which reads, quote, "The global launch date of Spyro Reignited Trilogy is September 21st, and we're excited for fans to play all 3 Reignited games on that day. As with most games today, downloading an update after purchase is quite common. The language on the packaging and on the web is to let players know the requirements for Spyro Reignited Trilogy. So instead of using this opportunity to address the feedback head-on and provide proper justification, they started by advertising the game, followed by a statement that in no way, shape, or form clarifies anything. Not sure how downloading an update is relevant here. We aren't talking about a full physical release with a day one patch. We are talking about 1/3 of a physical game where the update is the remaining 2/3 of the package. It's apples and oranges, Activision, and yes, we know that the language on the packaging is meant to let us know the requirements, but the question is, why are the requirements the way they are? Do not be fooled though, Activision fully understands the question being posed, but as per usual, they refuse to answer in a transparent way, leaving prospective buyers suspicious, frustrated, and disappointed. I'm at a loss here, guys. I can't think of a single good reason for why they would do this. Is it a way to save money? Is it a way to artificially boost their digital sales numbers, which nowadays seem to have more value than physical sales numbers? Is it to disincentivize physical purchases because digital sales have better cost benefit? Whatever the reason, few will argue that this is an utterly shit way to release a game in physical format, and I truly hope that this does not become a trend. When I purchase a game cart or a game disc, I want to have the safety of knowing that I can pop it in any compatible console and have the full experience at my disposal with no hassle, not get a box and a disc whose purpose is to redirect me to arduous digital downloads that I didn't ask for. These are just one man's thoughts and opinions anyway. I'd love to hear what your take is on Spyro Reignited Trilogy's strange physical release format in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content and would like to support this channel directly, consider donating on Patreon. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.